important to connect with one another. We rise together.
Adonai sefatai tiftach uvi agid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah Elohei Rachel Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'konei HaKol Ve'zocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot U'mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Al Gevurot U'Midom Elach Melech Mimit U'Mechayeh U'Matzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah l'Hachayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kdoshim B'chol Yom Ya'alelucha Selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
And as we've done these past 25 months, adding prayers unique for Israel, our family, our friends in Israel, since October 7th, so we continue to do so, but those prayers have changed. Because we change, our world changes, and with that, with the hostages almost all home, minus the 6 hostage remains that are still there. So we turn to these words. May it be our brothers and sisters that just as you showed strength and courage in a terrible inferno, so may you find the strength to heal upon your return now as you walk this path of recovery. May you be embraced by tens of thousands of loving hearts that never stop worrying, hoping, acting, and working for your sake. May it be that we know how to serve as support and a source of strength for you, for your families. May we together weave the thread of the hope of salvation so that your return will proclaim peace and herald good. May it be that we preserve this shared home. May we honor the light revealed in the actions of all those who never stop striving and crying out for your return. May it be that the memory of those we could not bring back safely, and those who fell in battle, and those who are still there, remain with us forever. An eternal flame of pain and hope, of sorrow and consolation. May the verse be fulfilled through us, to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives. And let us say, and our prayer for the state of Israel, for our family, for our friends, linking ourselves with the land of Israel. Avinu Shebashamayim, Sor Yisrael, V'go'alo barach Medirat Yisrael. Reshit Smichat Geulatenu. God, you are high above all nations and peoples. Rock of Israel, the one who saved and preserved us in life. Bless the state of Israel. First flowering of our redemption, be her loving shield, a shelter of lasting peace. Guide her leaders, advisors by your light of truth. Instruct them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who build and protect our holy land. Deliver them from danger. Crown their efforts with success. Grant peace to the land, lasting joy to all of her people. And together we say, Amen. We turn now to our prayers of Misha Berach, our prayers of healing, thinking of our family, friends, those in need of strength. We walk around with the Torah. We reach out, we touch it, we mention names out loud of those who we're thinking of. Gaining strength and having Torah in our midst just has been a source of strength and hope for our people for thousands of years. Please rise.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say,
As we think of these friends, family of our community, Anna Alpert, Riley Braun, Aidan Binder, Martin Bordelais, Richard Brooks, Chris Berkman, Dr. Donna Caniano, Karen Kasman, Patty Seresny, David Decker, Alexander Friedrich, Ann Gotro, Richard Gotro, Augie Germano, Brandon Gordon, Batia Besha Penina, Ava Haber-Kornholm, Gidon Ben Avram, Alexis Johnson Walzer, Mike Kahn, Jimmy Kelly, Leon Klein, Isaiah Klein, Karen Klein, Serafina Coffrin, Andrew Liederman, David Lippett, Zoe Levine, Alan Lieberman, Zev Lorber, Tim McAllister, Zoe Marcus, Justin Milberger, Caleb Ben Ba'ami, Steve Passer, Carolyn Peterson, Linda Pratt, Donna Reef, Marcy Fisher-Reiners, Leslie Riggs, Yocheved Chana Bat Shoshana Gula, Tom Selleck, the St. Amman family, Janice Schwartz, Michael Schulman, Roberta Sanino, Toby Stein, Eliza Bat Rivka, Joe Tarlos, Lori Tennant, Len Turman, Stuart Thompson, Dolores Weinstein, David Zuckerman, and all the names in our hearts. Baruch Atah Adonai Ophel. Bless you, God, to give strength to those in need.
The source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Aleinu l'shabeach Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא כוחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים. לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
In preparation for the words of Kaddish, we hear the names of those who we've lost, family, friends who we remember. And we're told we don't say this prayer unless we're in a community of at least 10 people. A minyan makes a community. Again, it's from this Torah portion, the idea that 10 is enough. But the beauty in the tradition is saying that a mourner shouldn't be alone, that we stand with them and support each other. It's a beautiful reminder of why we say this prayer, so that we connect with each other and hold each other up and remember together and are there for one another. In that spirit, we think of those who have been taken from our midst in this past month, who Shloshim we mark, friends and family of our congregation, Diane Elkin and Sandra Combs, and those 7 hostages whose remains were brought back and they're laid to rest this week. Sachar Baruch, Amiran Cooper, Oz Daniel, Asaf Hamami, Omer Nutra, Itai Chain, Yashua Otomolo. Linking their names with Michael Brody, Albert Nagler, Gary Rakenstein, Izzy Heckler, Lawrence Leibowitz, Linda Paisley, Jason Miller, Lyle Markovitz, and Adele Feldman. I'm thinking of those whose yortzites we mark on the Shabbat, those whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Ilana Shira Alpert, Ronald Barnett, Gladys Baskin, Erwin Bergman, Mark Burson, Louise Blank, Thelma Brown, Joel Bussell, Rosetta Cohen, Cheryl Edelstein, Dora Eisenberg, Joyce Fletcher, Francis Fleischman, Joseph Foster, Carol M. Frank, and Henry B. Frank, Jack Friedman, Joan Friedman, Michael Galanda, Milton Garber, Edwin Gittleman, Isidore Goldbaum, Joseph Goldring, Henry Goldsmith, Fran Goldstein, Ozzie Goodman, Janice Goodman, Rose Green, Douglas Greenbaum, Terry Greenberg Wadlett, Celia Janauer, Bernard Klissman, Michael Colas, Marilyn Lancet, Samuel Levine, Mark Lewis, Bernice Lynn, Louis Merson, Jamie Moray, Douglas Arthur Moss, Mary Must, Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, Leonard Romanek, Ethel Rosenblatt, Marvin Rott, Wendy Rowe, Leon Schaefer, Ernie Scher, Jill Schutz, Rabbi Daniel Schwartz, Philip Shapiro, Brenda Shep, Jody Beth Jaffe Silverman, Marion Smith, Diane Snyder, Karen Steifel, Shelley Sturman, Evelyn Diane Swartz, Alexander Zertis, Hannah Tilds, Lucy Topsick, Richard Varon, Helen Weingarten, Polly Willenbaker, Jean Wolfe, Jeanette Urofsky, Eleanor Zimmerman. and linking their names to all the names that we did not recite on this Shabbat. Those of every faith and family, those lives that have touched ours, as well as those who have no one to stand and say Kaddish for them. So we join together in the immortal words of Mourner's Kaddish as found on page 46 of our prayer books. Yikadal, Yikadash Shemei Rabbah, Bialma Divra Chirate Bialmich Malchute, B'chayachon V'yomechon Uchayedecho Beit Yisrael, Pagalau Vizman Kari V'imru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mavarach Elam Amaya, Yit Barach Yishtabach Yit Pa'ar V'yit Raman V'yit Naseh. Vinadar, Vinale, Vinalal, Shemek, Degrisha, Berichu, Lela Minko Birchata Veshirata, Tush Bechata Benechamata, Dabram Biama Vimru, Amen. Yehe Shomo Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'alkul Yisrael V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'ramav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'alkul Yisrael V'imru. The source of peace, and peace to those who mourn, comfort to those who are bereaved, here and everywhere. And let us together say, Amen.
Shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Shalom,
Shalom Aleinu Yaakov
Israel.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi.
Having some technical difficulties. So this mic's not working, so we'll use this one. Apologies to those online. Our feed kept going out, I noticed, during services, but fortunately, we were able to get it back up, on and off, and so that's why I should come in person. No, anyway, so actually, in person, I kept stopping, and we just was silent, and we just sat here for a while, just so you know, you didn't miss anything when it was off. Anyway, a few things to share that are coming up. Women of Shir Shalom is this week, and our Cantora Solis, Aaron Markovitz, will be with the Women of Shir Shalom, sharing, and you can get to interview him and talk to him. Brotherhood at the same time with Barry Sternberg, a pharmacist, talking about pharmacology questions and answers. Right? Better life through drugs. My father worked at Monsanto, and so at one point their thing was without chemicals, life itself would be impossible. And it had Leonardo da Vinci's, man, and with the circle and all the elements. So that's what we were raised on. Yeah, Agent Orange. That was really good for our environment and our people. Sorry, Dad. Anyway, it's just in case he's watching. So. Happy Hour Through Israel. Rabbi Daniel starts teaching on Wednesday on the 12th at 5:30. So the hour before Women of Shir Shalom and before Brotherhood, you can come and have a drink with Rabbi Daniel, and he'll be doing some new sights to see. Bim Bam Baby is Friday, November 14th, and November 14th and 15th is a special weekend here, as we know, to have some fun together. So I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I've been kept in the dark.
We're going to honor the rabbi for 30 years at Temple
Yes.
Shalom. Woo! It'll be a great service Friday night.
I'm looking forward to it because I get to sit down here with my wife and enjoy services. So that will be special for me. And with my, family, some others will be here too, so it'll be special.
Some special guests.
Right. And the bourbon arrived, the barrel arrived, so that's good news too. Yes. I've not tried it yet though, So anyway, a moment or two of a question and answers. Yeah, Meryl. Uh-huh. Temporary. Yeah, so Meryl asked about the preschool playground in the front right now. That is going to be our new patio. And so that's what our board of directors has been very responsible, unlike me. And so, no, I am too. Because, but unlike Daniel, who, we built this building with no money, so, God rest his soul, but we've been paying off this mortgage, which is down to just over $800,000. It was $9 million, right? We had no money when we built this building 30 years ago. So it's ridiculous we were able to do it, and it's been a challenge. So the board, we have only built when we had the money. And so that's why we've been waiting to finish all the landscaping and things outside. So that new patio that some of you have actually dedicated seats in is going to have an amphitheater in the middle. It'll be a lovely place to go for a summer oneg or a cocktail party right outside of Sacred Space. In order to get our licensing for our preschool a year and a half ago, in September of 24, because we wanted to move in here with the space, we had to have a playground. So we said, quickly, make that a playground. And that's why that's a small playground. What you see as that fence, that won't be there. It will be all landscaped as a protective border and block that as well. And the landscaping will block also the back patio, so you won't be able to see Orchard Lake from that patio when the landscaping is completed. And the playground, you see there's a new fence that's up in the back, and that's where the new playground is going for the preschoolers. It's an extension of the older kid playground. The playground we have there is too big for preschoolers. So you have to have different ones for requirements. So good question about that. And so, yeah, I appreciate it. And that's, I'm blessed that, I've been here 30 years and people have supported that. And so the proceeds of that are helping us finish this project. So that's exciting. Yeah, very much so. Arthur. Oh, thank you, Arthur. So on Veterans Day is November 11th, of course, right? Armistice Day. And so the veterans are being honored, the parading on Michigan Avenue towards the train station. Excellent. And make it so. If you want to go support what time is the parade? 11:11. Excellent. Okay, yeah. I think snow will be a few, it's our first storm, it'll be a few flakes, right? Well, I don't know, maybe we'll have a snow day for Sunday school, we'll see. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice to honor the veterans and appreciate that as well. Arthur, for letting us know, always appreciate, and beautiful that it happens. By the way, you say the train station. If you haven't taken the tour of the train station, I strongly recommend it. It's a very cool thing to do, to see what Ford did to make that alive now and to bring it back to life is really remarkable, but also the beauty and the majesty of it. Same architect as Grand Central Station in New York City, so pretty cool, and being funded by the Vanderbilts originally. So worthwhile doing that. Eric. Where did I cut my teeth? Before Daniel tenderized me, as you like to say. My first student congregation was in Selma, Alabama.
Ribeye.
Or they called me Ribeye. And so when you're in rabbinical school, they send you to godforsaken places. No, to communities that don't have a full-time rabbi and need assistance. So you'd fly down Friday morning and spend, the weekend with the community and do services and religious school and things like that. Selma was an old, dying congregation, and so they didn't have a religious school. Most of the young people had moved to Montgomery or to Atlanta, and so there were very few there. But it was my first high holiday pulpit, and I would go about once a month there. And so that was, and actually the sanctuary, the synagogue, is a historic landmark in Alabama. We think of Selma being a big community because of Martin Luther King Jr. and the march from Selma to Montgomery. It's like 20,000 people. I mean, it was like one traffic light, teeny town, right? Anyway, but it was a cool experience. Then my second student pulpit was Cary, North Carolina. Did that for 2 full years, and then when you're a second year, you get to choose where you want to go, and it's a lottery, and you get to pick. And so a graduating student leaves a pulpit, and this was 30 minutes from Duke University. So it was great for me. 2 years after leaving Duke, I got to go back there. I got to see the Fab Five play and lose in Cameron Indoor Stadium. So that was awesome. And was that 92 when they played there, 93? Anyway, so it was the year after, the year they actually, when they lost to UNC? Anyway, so nonetheless, that was cool, and that was a very, because the Research Triangle Park had so many transplants in it, and many were intermarried families that didn't have a home. So Temple Beth Shalom was a brand new synagogue, about 75 families, young people, really dynamic. Even the weekends I wasn't there, they still had religious school going on, always things going. And we rented from the First Reformed Church of Cary, who was very, very kind to us. We put a big drape over the cross during our services. They didn't mind that we did that. It was awkward during Christmas season when there was a giant tree there. But it was a really beautiful community. And shortly afterwards, they actually hired a full-time rabbi. And so they're a vibrant congregation now with a full-time rabbi who's really a lovely individual. And then my last year, I was an intern in Charlotte, North Carolina, where my mentor, my rabbi growing up, Rabbi Jim Bennett, who is Rabbi Josh Bennett from Temple Israel's older brother. So Jim was 26, 27 years old, right out of rabbinical school, came to St. Louis. I was a sophomore or junior in high school. He was the young, cool rabbi. We'd play racquetball together. When I was in college, we'd go out for sushi and a beer, and so someone I was always close with. He left St. Louis after 9 years and became senior rabbi at Temple Bethel in Charlotte, North Carolina, a blossoming congregation, and he needed help. And he said, will you come down? Any weekends you can come down, help me out. So I became his intern, and it was a cool post to be able to do that. And the hope was that he would convince the board to hire a rabbi. And they were in the running. And literally, I had when you go through the interview process, any congregation that wants to hire a rabbi has to come to the campus back then, and they have to take every interview. So, and then 2 weeks later, it goes for 2 weeks, and then at the end of it, callbacks happen. And if you're lucky and things work out, you get a number of callbacks, and you can only take 6 in the time period, probably. And so you can maybe pick and choose, whatever. So this was where I was going to go work for Jim Bennett, and I love North Carolina. Right? It'll be great, this new place. It was so exciting. So I was going to work for Jim, and then there was my fallback was this rabbi I knew in San Diego who was hiring as well, Rabbi John Stein of blessed memory, who I knew from camp, and I thought it'd be great to work with him. They both had talked to me about this, blah, blah, and they both pulled out of the process in the last minute, literally like Thursday and Friday before Monday of interviews, and called to let me know the synagogue in San Diego hired a rabbi from the field, and Charlotte ended up they decided they weren't going to go through placement. They weren't ready to hire a rabbi yet. And so Jim left there a few years later and went back to St. Louis to be the senior rabbi of my congregation and is my parents' rabbi today. So that's when Temple Shir Shalom, their resume appeared, and I said, well, I got this opening now at 8:30 in the morning. I might as well do a warm-up interview. And, and I liked what Daniel wrote about what Shir Shalom was and what we'd be and the potential. And so I was like, okay, I'll warm up. And so I was really relaxed in my interview with Daniel and Dr. Alan Minlin and Judge Jessica Cooper, and I had a lot of fun. in that interview. And then I thought afterwards, I may have been too cavalier. I may have been too loose. So I kept trying to run into Daniel the next day, wherever we were on campus. I never went to services, morning services, when I was in rabbinical school. I don't really like services. So unless it's my way of doing things. Sorry. So anyway, whatever. Some of my classmates were so traditional, and they're all wearing tefillin and whatever. Wasn't my services. But Daniel wanted to go and see students lead, so I'm like, crap, I'm going to go to services. Saddle up next to him, make sure I left a good impression. So anyway, as we know, it all worked out. So, yeah, it's a fun time. Well, we have a lovely little oneg tonight. Excited for this upcoming week. Look, I'm very fortunate to have been a rabbi at Temple Shir Shalom for 30 years and more, and looking forward to the future together. Our world has a lot of challenges right now, so the nice thing is that we have something to celebrate and sharing it together, and that's the blessing you all share with me. So let's rise together as we give thanks for the sweetness of this day and the joy of Shabbat, and we join with Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam,
borei peri hagafen. Amen.
L'chaim. We give thanks for our time together, our community, our moments of Shabbat.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you. May God protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka.
May God's light shine upon you and shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisim lecha shalom.
May God always be a part of who we are as individuals, as a community, giving us all of our blessings. Most of all, the connections we feel together and the blessing of shalom, of peace.
V'yisim lecha shalom, Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.